There is no land upon the earth contains the same amount of worth, and he that could not here reside had better find a place to hide. You who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, come yourselves and see. We've got the smartest riverboats and orchestras that play true notes. We raise great Poland China hogs and any amount of shaggy dogs. You who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, come yourselves and see. We've several million pretty gals, airports, rivers, and canals. Our festivals are sure to thrill from Sugar Creek to Uricksville. You who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, come yourselves and see. With presidents we've called the tune and put the first man on the moon. Of everything we've got the best, we're anxious that you be our guest. You who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, come yourselves and see. To one and all, both young and old, you're welcome to this land of gold. So come along, be not afraid, we guarantee you'll be well paid. You who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, you who don't believe it's true, come yourselves and see.
Yes, sir. Great place, Ohio. Leads the world in the output of ball-shaped candy suckers, police whistles, dancing shoes, and false teeth. In Ohio, all it takes is a phone call to arrange a visit to plants that make important things, like jet engines, tires of every size and description, communication systems, and earth movers. If the world needs it, Ohio makes it. Did you know they make more chop suey here than any place else on earth? And pretzels, and tomato juice, and beeswax candles that are used in churches all over the world, including the Vatican in Rome. The thing most people don't know, though, is how beautiful and interesting and exciting Ohio can be any time of the year. Morning. Have a safe trip now.
Okay. Hey, say, have you got a map or anything that tells you what there is to see around here?
Well, what'd you have in mind? We've got a little of everything.
Well, we're just passing through. Thought we might look around a little.
Hey, you're boating people.
That's right.
Well, now, you just follow our waterways. You'll find out what Ohio's all about. Up north here, you're in the mainstream of the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway shipping traffic. You can see ore boats long as a city block. Nothing like them anywhere, working the Ohio ports. You'll also see ships from all over the world loading and unloading cargoes at some of the best equipped docks in the country. Down south, where the road kind of plays tag with the Ohio River, you'll see a different kind of shipping. Towboats been plying these waters since 1811, when the first steamboat came puffing and roaring down from Pittsburgh. Today's towboats push their cargoes, barges that hold 1,000 tons each. A towboat like this can handle up to 30 of them, in any kind of weather. The Ohio River is probably the most modern waterway in the world, because huge dams and locks like these create a gigantic stairway that drops 400 feet in the 981 miles from Pittsburgh to the Mississippi. Ohio River steamboating has a rich and colorful history that's well preserved here at Marietta. You're welcome aboard the W.P. Snyder, Jr., a stern wheeler that worked the river for over 30 years in the old days. At the River Museum in Marietta, you can spend some wonderful hours seeing things the way they used to be on the Ohio. Well, those romantic days are all but gone now. But there's a real spirit that lives on along the river. There's no getting away from it.
Hey, the riverboat's coming. Hey, it is. Yeah, let's go.
Now, when it comes to pleasure boating, we've got all kinds. In fact, boating is a way of life all over Ohio. Nearby attractions like Cedar Point have made the Lake Erie Island country a prime vacation land. Cedar Point has something for everyone, from kids to dads. Any time of the year, you can explore the island country by hopping the world's shortest and most colorful airline. The old Ford Tri-Motors whisk passengers from the mainland to the islands at 60 miles an hour. Sometimes, depending on the headwinds, of course. Wintertime in Ohio has a special charm. And there's plenty of action, too. course, today, skiers are no longer confined to snow. Ohio's park system offers endless variety and family fun. There's something for everyone at the comfortable lodges like the one at Houston Woods. There's variety, too, in the hundreds of campsites available from Lake Erie's beaches to southern Ohio's hills. Like to turn backwards through time? Throughout Ohio, you'll find picturesque towns like Milan, with streets and homes that bring to mind the sad glory of an unforgettable past.
When Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah, hurrah, we'll give him a hearty welcome then, hurrah, hurrah. The men will cheer and the boys will shout, the ladies, they will all turn out and we'll all feel gay when Johnny comes marching home. In 1861, hurrah, hurrah, that was when the war begun, hurrah, hurrah. In 1862, both sides were a-fallen to, and we'll all drink stone wine when Johnny comes marching home. Get ready for the Jubilee, hurrah, hurrah. We'll give the hero 3 times 3, hurrah, hurrah. The laurel wreath is ready now to place upon his loyal brow, and we'll all feel gay when Johnny comes marching home. The old church bell will peal with joy, hurrah, hurrah, to welcome home our darling boy, hurrah, hurrah. The village lads and lassies say, with roses they will strew the way, and we'll all feel gay when Johnny comes marching home.
Just before the last of the native Indian tribes left Ohio, the government built a grist mill for them on the reservation at Upper Sandusky. It's still there and welcomes visitors. Another early grist mill is Barrett's in Highland County. Like mystery with your history? Get a native to tell you of Aaron Burr's tragic dream of empire that ended here on Blennerhassett Island. Try to find the answers to the ancient riddles of the Great Serpent Mound in Adams County. Ask what happened to the 500 Frenchmen whose cabins once stood in this square at Gallipolis. Just downriver, you can start the Ohio presidential tour. William Henry Harrison and Benjamin Harrison, North Bend. Ulysses S. Grant, Point Pleasant. Rutherford B. Hayes, Fremont. William Howard Taft, Cincinnati. James A. Garfield, Cleveland. Warren G. Harding, Marion. And William McKinley, Canton. Also in Canton, a shrine to the heroes of Sunday afternoon, the Professional Football Hall of Fame. You know, you'll find just about every kind of museum here in Ohio. In Cleveland, the Thompson Auto Album is one of the nation's best. And at Fairport, visit the Marine Museum, housed in one of the oldest lighthouses on the Great Lakes. Railroads have long been vital to the nation's growth. In Dover, the Walther Museum exhibits a collection of hand-carved railroad models. They are the work of famed woodcarver Ernest Walther, and the Smithsonian has termed them priceless works of art. To keep pace with modern technology, you can bring yourself up to date by visiting the Museum of Science and Industry in Columbus. In the Ohio Bell exhibit, space communications is featured. Here also is a replica of an Apollo spacecraft, similar to the Apollo 11, which carried the first astronauts to the moon. It was Apollo 11 which gave Ohio a new kind of international hero, astronaut Neil Armstrong of Wapakoneta, the first man ever to set foot on the surface of the moon. The conquest of space started in a cow pasture in Ohio, which the Wright brothers turned into the first airstrip. Nearby stands the great museum where the United States Air Force stores its memories. The Curtiss Jenny of World War I. The Spad, like the one flown by Ohio's Eddie Rickenbacker. The Curtiss P-40 of World War II. The B-17, the flying fortress that gave the Allies control of the air. The gigantic B-36, and its tiny companion, the XF-85 Goblin. And the one-of-a-kind XB-70 experimental aircraft. The Air Force Museum is an adventure in flight such as you'll find nowhere else this side of the wild blue yonder. Now, if it's the beauty of nature you enjoy, Ohio has much to offer. Lake Hope, for instance, or the spectacular settings in the Hocking Parks. Such places of unspoiled beauty inspired the early settlers to lighthearted song.
Way up yonder above the sky, a bluebird lived in a jaybird's eye. Buckeye gal, you won't go from the wonderful world of Ohio, wonderful world of Ohio. Way up yonder above the moon, a blue jay nest in a silver spoon. Buckeye gal, you won't go from the wonderful world of Ohio, wonderful world of Ohio. Way down yonder in a woodland trough, an old woman died of the whooping cough. Buckeye girl, you won't go from the wonderful world of Ohio, wonderful world of Ohio. Way down yonder in a holler log, a red bird danced with a green bullfrog. a buck-eyed gal. Now don't you go from the wonderful world of Ohio, wonderful world of Ohio. Stay with me now, buck-eyed girl, gonna be free now, buck-eyed girl, right on here in the state of Ohio. A buck-eyed gal,
In the 41,000 square miles of Ohio, there's a wide variety of soil, topography, and geological conditions. And that makes for a wide variety of wildlife. When it comes to fishing, Ohioans catch most freshwater varieties, from scrappy panfish to the mighty muskellunge.
Great fishing country. You know, everywhere in Ohio are picturesque old inns, gracious landmarks of a more leisurely time. They're fun to stay at, but be sure to call ahead for a reservation.
The oldest inn of all is the Golden Lamb at Lebanon, with its quaint guest rooms named for the famed travelers who slept there. Stan Hewitt Hall, the Seiberling Mansion in Akron, represents another gracious way of life and is admired for its splendor and fine craftsmanship. Kingwood in Mansfield was also a fine private estate and is now nationally famous for its spectacular gardens. Floral beauty has always delighted man, and Ohio artist Robert Lessig has achieved wide recognition for his floral paintings. Among the art museums to possess Lessig paintings is Youngstown's Butler Institute of American Art. Butler is the first museum in the world entirely devoted to American paintings, prints, sculpture, and ceramics. Among its masterpieces are the works of Winslow Homer and Ohioans George Bellows, Frank Duveneck, Henry Keller, and Charles Birchfield. Wherever you are in Ohio, you're not far from a fine art museum. Many of these institutions and their collections are internationally famous. Whenever you travel in Ohio, from early April to mid-October, you'll find some kind of festival. The season opens when the sap starts running in the sugar maples. And from then on, it's one big round of parties with bands, parades, beauty queens, pageants, dancing in the streets, and of course, feasting. this local fun and nostalgia comes to a whopping climax at the end of August at the most popular single attraction in Ohio, the State Fair in Columbus, where every year nearly 2 million people get the world's largest kicks out of coming here and joining the action. Well, that's the way it is here in the Buckeye State. Just great anytime. If you're fortunate enough to live here, you know just how wonderful it is. And if you haven't yet discovered the warmth and the wonder of Ohio, you've got an exciting treat in store. You see, each season has its own appeal, its own special mood.
I love the plains, the hills and valleys of Ohio. This land between Lake Erie and the Grand Ohio. All the folks are gentle, kind. Love is here for you to find. I love the plains, the hills and valleys of Ohio. Through the days we work our way, through the nights we sing and pray, and all our troubles, all our cares fade away. Golden sunlight shining on our winding streams, silver shadows through the trees where moonlight gleams. Nowhere else are friends so true. No other state has skies more blue. That's why I love the plains and people of Ohio. That's why I love the hills and valleys of la da 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 da.